Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I came on with a few technical glitches, but I am here, and so Madeline, Marlene, fantastic, and Kendra as well. Kendra, hi, so happy to be here. You're one of my absolute favorite teachers. Thank you. Have me blushing already. I'm excited because I'm such a serious woman. Kendra today is going to be fabulous. Paris, hi Manal and all. Hello to you, Paris. So expect me to lay out some jokes. We're expecting everybody to lay out some jokes. We have so much fun, so much fun. Monica, yay, we are live. Hi Manal, I can hear you and see you, ready to laugh it up with you. Fantastic. Valerie, hello Manal and our beautiful community. Andrea, hello, good morning, beautiful Manal and everyone. Hello Lynn, oh my goodness, it's so fantastic and so much love, so much love. We didn't get together last week. I was in Vancouver, but I'm coming back so refreshed and so ready. I know our laughter we talk about and have our jokes, but beforehand, our laughing already, says Lynn, beforehand we talk first and just bring up whatever's laying inside to the surface. And lately I've been reflecting a lot. I don't know if you get my newsletters. 2 weeks ago I wrote about laughter, and a week ago I wrote about happiness, and in our group chat we've been talking about how we're feeling. And everything is different. Laughter is different than happiness. Laughter is actually an expression of alignment, and happiness is a feeling of alignment. And during our group, we've been talking about honoring how we're feeling, and everything comes back to the one word I'm going to say right now, which is alignment. And the one thing that I wanted to express today while we're here together is I want us to stop taking ourselves so seriously. I want us to stop taking our life journey so seriously, and our conditioning so seriously, and our worthiness and our freedom and all the things that we're aspiring to do. I want us to do it with an excitement and a zeal and a curiosity and heart, and with laughter and with fun and with joy and with play. And I don't know if this is resonating. Let me know if this is resonating. And it's taking like so many different conversations and so many different elements that we've been focusing on, but it's just that I have recognized that when I feel out of alignment, what I do the most and what I'm seeing in our group chats is just what's the word, guys? Self what? Totally resonates, Andrea. Fantastic. Self-deprecate. And self-deprecate could be self-hate is a hard one. Self-judge is a easy one to say. Self-blame, I said judge as well, but there's all of these elements that I do that I project towards myself. And when I finally am able to detangle from it, it's when I realize, Manal, you're just picking up life and you're just living life. And some of these things are just so out of your control because it's the essence of living and the essence of conditioning. And it's the essence of this vibrational life that is so more complex than our linear awareness. And so that's what I just want to give to you all before we get into our laughter and to our love. Let's stop taking ourselves so seriously. Does that resonate? Andrea says it does. If it does, what do you self do? What do you do? And I see Valerie's beautiful picture, and she spoke a lot during the group chat, and a lot of what I'm speaking now is from what Valerie was sharing and what Gary was sharing and what I was reflecting on. So let's talk about how do we feel, and we talked about being in the loop, okay? We were talking about in our group chat about being in the loop and out of the loop. And in the loop is when our mind is going crazy and our emotions are going crazy and we're physically just feeling so bad. We called it in the loop. And then out of the loop is when we're aligned and we're free and we're feeling good and we're just feeling like accepting and self-loving and so who relates with being in the loop? Okay, let's talk about that. Mary Alice, last week I took an AARP Zoom class on laughter, learned how to exaggerate giggles and belly laughs fun. Fantastic, Mary Alice. You'll have to share with us some of this. Andrea, laughing about myself and my actions is the best. Yes, Andrea. And laughing with a sense of compassion and laughing with a sense of self-love and laughing with a sense of like, oh, this is ironic. Like laughing from a sense of Seinfeld, not a sense of what comedian laughs at himself. I can't think of a comedian right now, but not self-deprecation laughter, but like a laughter of like curious wonder to the amazing nature of life. Mary Alice, I've been meditating and focusing on being playful, giving myself more leeway and lightening up in general. Yes, 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 yes. And that's what I want today to be about. For us to self-reflect on our human journey. And whether we are feeling good or feeling bad, we allow the journey to flow and to be. That's what I want today to be about. Who's in with me? Who's in? Valerie, yes, but there is resistance because letting go and not taking myself seriously makes me feel afraid. It really doesn't stop. Valerie, fantastic. What are you afraid of? Let's get to it. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? Neil, I think we do need to be serious and focused on our self-development, on our inner world. Neil, absolutely. There is a beautiful element of self-focus and connection and alignment and knowing and understanding. And I'm not in any way negating that, but what I'm looking at and I want to sort of challenge us all to do is I'm going to say the same words that I used before, is the self-judgment that there's something wrong, that we're broken, that we're never going to get it right. There's a lot of stories when we do our focus on our self-development and our inner work. There's a lot of self-judgment. There's a lot of self-deprecation. There's a lot of saying we're not getting it right. And I just want to say one thing in life. You can never not get it right. You can never not get it right. And I was going to say, except when you're dying, but even death is part of getting it right. So we can never not get it right. So what I want is when we're living, and when living doesn't always feel good, that we are able to have another lens of self-love, self-acceptance, of the journey, of joy might not be the right word, and pleasure might not be the right word, and laughter might not be the right word. So Neil, I'm honoring what you're saying, but a letting go of the resistance to allow. Neil, how does that feel to you? Ren says hello, and Valerie says, also Manal, thank you for letting me share in the group. Valerie, I love when you share everywhere. Jen, it sometimes feels like I'm doing the hokey pokey for me. I'm in and I'm out. And Jen, you're talking about being in the loop and out of the loop. And what I want it to be, this is the essence that I'm trying to see. I see the hearts coming and there's some resonance. I want it to be irrelevant of in the out loop and out of the loop. Let's even get rid of that judgment of in the loop and out of the loop. Because in the loop feels like we're doing something wrong. In the loop feels like there's something broken. In the loop feels like I'm out of control. In the loop feels like I'm not connected with my four. But in the loop is where a lot of the desires are created. In the loop is where our manifestation occurs. In the loop is where we start to learn and understand and move from unaware to aware. Without in the loop, the taste and the joy and the pleasure of life would not exist. Tell me if that resonates and how that feels, because I want us to see the value of in the loop, Tell me, talk to me all. I see the hearts. Liz, hi everyone, wherever you are in the world, and good afternoon, morning, evening from Toronto, Canada. As always, I'm feeling happy and grateful to experience another now live event created by Manal. Thank you, Liz, and spending time with her and others in the community. Fantastic, Liz. Mary Alice is saying to Valerie, I did too. So I started very small, then kept repeating until I got some momentum going. Key Key is the key. Key is to stop grading and judging self for when I lose it. Fantastic, fantastic. So everybody, let me ask you all something. Who judges themselves as being broken, being bad, being wrong, being whatever you judge yourself as being? Put it in the window. Let's talk about this. Let's bring this to the surface. Valerie, what am I afraid of? Maybe not taking myself and my struggles seriously. I feel that, and that's sort of resonating what Neil is saying too, Valerie. I feel not in my element when I'm joyful, laughing. It's strange to me, and I guess it makes me feel afraid of the unknown. Beautifully said, Manal. I love that point of view. I just don't see that when I'm in the loop. When I'm in the loop. Okay, let's talk about in the loop. Let's talk about in the loop. What Ren says, I judge myself for being weak. Neil says not anymore. So Neil, you don't judge yourself at all? How did you stop judging yourself? That's what I want you to share with us all. Mary Alice, yes, I hear you, Manal, but I did need some practice with the train of thought before it began to resonate. Fantastic. So Mary Alice, help us too. Tell us about how you stopped when you were in the loop and started to muscle. I call it muscling it. Andrea, so enjoying being able to be with you and your enthusiasm and energy basking in it. Fantastic. I feel like I'm a bit on today. Tell me if I need to turn myself down a bit. I'm like, Manal, cool it. But I feel good, but just as long as you're all receiving me well. Dren says, I judge myself for being weak. Amy says she's late, and you're never late, Amy. I'm so glad you're here. Ariel, I'm not good enough to get what I really want. Perfect, Ariel. That's your self-worth. So Ariel, fantastic. I'm not good enough to get what I really want. And it has tones of what Valerie is speaking to too, that she doesn't want to be happy and let herself be free. So that's a tone that many of us carry. Rita, for being abused by the narcissist. Fantastic, Rita. So not good enough, and she was abused by you were abused by the narcissist. Jackie, I judge myself based on the past. Hard to let go, even though I say I do. Jackie, fantastic. And I'm going to challenge all of us. How many of us are attached to the past? And can we control the past? Can we control what happened in the past? Can we control? And that holding on to that past is a judgment, and it's a control. And let's just observe it. Valerie, I judge myself for how my journey is and who I am. Fantastic, Valerie, fantastic. It's judging your physical body and your journey and who you are. But I remember, Valerie, you saying, I'm so happy to be me. Can you bring that bridge for me between that I'm happy that I'm me, but I judge myself for how my journey is and who I am? Bridge that for me, because I remember distinctly you saying, I am so glad I'm me and I wouldn't want to be anybody else. Neil, self-understanding, true identity, and living in the now. Fantastic. And then Neil, how did you build those muscles? Because you're saying the same thing that I am. I just used the word laughter and joy and happiness and used some other colorful words to get to that point of self-understanding. And you say true identity. What is your true identity? That's your egoic body. And you all know there's 4 bodies: your egoic body, your mental body, your emotional body, your physical body. There's the 4 bodies. And all of those 4 bodies, when they're in alignment, allow us to be in alignment. So identity is one of the huge ones. True identity. So Neil, what is your true identity? What is? So self-understanding, I think, is compassion from the emotional body. Living in the now is in an alignment. True identity is in your egoic body. And your identity is actually also a love, self-love for who you are. How did you get there, Neil? How did you get there? Sending loves to Jackie. Okay, Mary. Lately, I've been either so proud and confident in myself, or I feel like a bad person who made things happen. A bit of shame in those moments. Beautiful. And everybody, I just want you to say, everything I read, I can relate to it. I can relate. So a lot of these expressions are pure human expressions. I lost my cool this week, and I said to my dad, I hate losing my cool. And he said, Manal, who doesn't? And he sort of took me by surprise. And he said, who doesn't? He said, I don't like being angry either, but he said, but I hate losing my cool. So everything that I'm reading are pure human expressions. Pure human expressions. I see the hearts and the resonation. What do we want to do with these pure human expressions? So it's very human to say that I could either feel good about myself, Mary calls it proud, confident in myself, or like a bad person who made bad things happen. We can all feel and relate to that at times in our life. What do we want to do with it? It's a pure, who wants to agree that this is a pure human expression? That the majority of people at some time in their life can relate to an expression like this. Who wants to say that? Okay, I see the hearts coming. See the hearts coming. So when we think that, that's getting into the loop, correct? Or based on the terminology that we jumped into and we spoke to. This is in the loop, right? Everybody agree that this is in the loop. We're in the loop of yes, no, good, bad, self-love, self-hate, and into this loop. And in there's probably a strong expression of feeling, emotion. Could be angry, it could be sadness, it could be frustration. And usually there's a big physical reaction. There's your face getting heated, there's heat in the body, there's an extra amount of energy that's not flowing out, so we're out of alignment. So it's a normal expression. So what do we want to do when we have a normal expression? When we say I don't feel good about myself, that I'm picking up resistance, how do we want to treat that? And I'm going to go to Neil's speaking because we're having a few conversations going on, but they're all meeting. Neil says, I got here through meditation. So doing the inner work, through meditation, through aligning with the truth of who we are. Does everybody acknowledge that our truth is beauty, happiness, self-love, clarity, knowing, creativity, allowing, flowing, alignment. So do you all feel those truths? Meditation allows you to connect with those truths, to those truths. Resistance, which is in the loop that we're talking about, keeps us detached from those truths. If we didn't know that those truths were, if we didn't believe what was going on when we're in the loop, we wouldn't feel all that resistance. Resistance is anything that's keeping us from the beauty of the truths that we just went through, from those truths. So meditation is one of the most beautiful, amazing tools to aligning with truths. Letting go. Letting go goes back to what Neil was saying about self-understanding, compassion. It's what I was talking about, not taking ourselves so seriously. Because when we take it so seriously, we can't let go. We can't let go. We hold on to we count all the mistakes, we count all the blame, the guilt, the shame, and we hold it. Letting go allows us to, it's just life. It's okay. Sally, compassion and tenderness. Letting go is sort of an act of surrender. Surrender to something bigger. Recognizing that we're human, we're on this human journey, and as it unfolds, and it's okay. It's okay. Neil says being lighthearted, and I think lighthearted is same as letting go, because you're not keeping the heartache. You're letting things go. You're allowing to see the joy, the beauty, the celebration, the love in life. So being lighthearted, seeing the beauty, seeing the joy, seeing the expressions of love. And this is the identity part. And Neil, tell me if I'm expressing yourself right and if there's anything you want to add. And experiencing myself as separate from my body, my mind, and the part that I'm playing in life. This is the egoic body. This is the identity. This is when we allow ourselves to really let go of, again, I'm going to use the words I used earlier, that taking life so seriously is recognizing that there's a spiritual reason that we're here. We're on this amazing journey. And this connection or overindulgence in my physical identity doesn't allow us to step back and see the beauty of the human journey and recognize there's something bigger. There's something bigger. We're here for something bigger. I'm going to ask you all, Neil, that was brilliant and I love it. Let me ask everybody, who recognizes that we're here for something bigger? Who knows that there's something bigger than just your physical? Or who has doubt? Give me hearts, give me words, give me everything. Give me hearts, give me words, give me everything. Gary, did we answer what is truth to you? And it's so fantastic to see you. Mary Alice, I muscled my way in with muscle memory. I find my days with inspiring media and ignored news reality until the lighter mood became my new normal. Mary Alice, fantastic. That's how I built my muscle too. First I used to love news. I used to watch it all the time. And then I realized, whoa, this is toxic. So then I started to read it all the time. Then I realized, less toxic, but still toxic. So then one day I just decided to cut it out, and it really is one of the most amazing decisions I made in my life. I don't like that sometimes I don't know what's going on in the world and that I have to find some big things out from different ways. But for the most part, yes, it was very liberating. So how, everybody, how do we do all the things that we're talking about? How do we lighten up? How do we not take things so seriously? How do we live in the now? What are the tools? Neil started us up with all of the tools. What are the tools that you all use to allow yourself to accept, to love, to be? Liz, I got a calendar for 2023 titled, You Have the Power to Create Change. The mantra on it for February is, I am worthy of my love. And for March, the mantra on it is, I deserve all good things. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. To everyone in the community here, each of all of you are more than worthy and deserving of all of this. Fantastic. And the point together is for us to feel it. We know it. We understand it. What we want to do is feel it together and be it together. And we have different people, all of us together as a tribe at different levels, pulling each other together to know it and to feel it and to be it. That's what we do in these inspirations. Someone pulls us from here and someone from here and someone from here and someone from here until finally we're all there. We're all there. We are all there. Whether we're talking about laughter, or we're talking about gratitude on Friday, or if we're talking about self-worth, or we're talking about purpose, whatever it is, what we want to do is all pull each other till we get there. Fantastic, fantastic. Liz, that's beautiful. Kendra, I did the same, Mary Alice. It's been a game changer. So much for the fear-based news with a side order of anxiety. Fantastic. So who, Rita, Manal, you have amazing energy. Fantastic. Rita, today I don't know if I'm on in a different, if I'm too much. You guys keep telling me. Anyway, you tell me if I need to slow down. Amy, I do. Thanks to you letting me find it again. Fantastic, Amy. I think you're talking about knowing. I know what question that I asked, but whatever it is, you found it again. Sometimes there's a lag in my question and the answers. Jen, it feels it's hard not to be serious when feeling emotionally and physically any resistance. Laughter feels more like distraction away from the feeling. Yes. So there is a difference between not taking it seriously, which is the term that I've been using today, surrendering and repressing it and not seeing it. There is a big difference. We do not want to repress it. We do not want to not see it. We don't want to hide away from it. That's not the thesis today. What we want to do is see it and say, oh, like Neil says, there is something about me. I'm a spiritual being as well as a physical being. So when my physical being is feeling in the loop or doing whatever it might be, I'm going to just love on that being and recognize, oh, I can take that so seriously because there's a spiritual reason and purpose to my living. So when Manal starts to feel a lot of physical pain, physical experiences that are hurting what she does, I'm speaking of myself in the third person because I'm speaking about my physical Manal. She goes into her spiritual Manal and she reminds herself that there's conditioning, that there's things that she doesn't understand that goes beyond her understanding, and for her to honor and appreciate all of the learning that she's chosen to be on. And if my friends were here, they would be like, Manal, why do you keep talking about yourself in the third person? I can hear them right now. Manal, stop talking about yourself in the third person. But that's what I do. So when I'm in the loop, she goes to spiritual. I go to what Neil is referring to. I know that I'm more than my physical being. So who leverages that strength in them? Who is able to flip from physical to spiritual? Who's able to use their spiritual self and empower their physical self? Who? Oh my goodness. Rose, I use painting as meditative practice. Also teach it, take past difficulties and transform it visual. Rose, I love it. I love it. Rose, actually, me and my kids went and we did some landscaping art the other day, a couple of weeks ago, and you did a lot of moss and you painted on things. It was so interesting how much physical pain I had in doing that art project because I like things to be perfect. You all know I'm a recovering perfectionist. And one lady kept saying, it was a group of people that was in this gardening place, and it was me and my two of my three kids. And one of my daughters, she's just so creative, and she was just like throwing it all in there, and my son just didn't care as much. And the lady kept saying, you can't do art wrong. And I kept saying, please keep saying these words because I can feel the physical pain in me wanting to make sure that I expressed my art perfectly. Art is not perfect. Every art piece is perfect. Just the expression is perfect. But I was aware of the conditioning of that physical. And I said to myself, Manal, this is therapy. And I even said in the room, I said, this is therapy. And everybody was like encouraging me, oh, that's so beautiful. And I love my art piece. Absolutely love what I created. But what I love more was the awareness of the physical tension that I was feeling, the resistance in that art project, and my deliberate decision to allow myself to express myself freely and to use it as an opportunity to grow, to use it and to recognize that this is part of the Manal that wants to grow. The self-expression that has felt always wronged and that felt that she had to be perfect and had to show up in a certain way. But this Manal is beautiful. All of the Manals is beautiful. And I'm speaking myself in third again, guys. So yes, art is fantastic. Whether or not you're artistic or not, allowing yourself to take and transform things artistically is amazing. Kendra says you are beautiful. When I asked if I was speaking too fast, I think. Thank you, Kendra. Andrea says you are never too much. Okay, good. Because there's sometimes I come on here and I'm like ground. I feel like I'm in the clouds. Amy, that there is something bigger. There is something bigger. There is something bigger. And I want everybody to ask themselves, do you know that there's something bigger? Do you connect with your physical you and your spiritual you? Okay, that's the question. Who connects with their physical you? Who connects with their spiritual you? And who connects evenly? And who gives one more power? Your physical you or your spiritual you? Your physical you or your spiritual you? I want everybody to answer that or reflect on that, okay? Liz, it's good to be playful in life and to be a big kid in life. I, along with my partner Tony, believe in the Peter Pan syndrome. You don't stop playing because you grow old. You grow old because you stop playing. Liz, I too still feel so young. And it kills me when anybody of any age lets age, the physical age, keep them from the truth and the beauty of who they are. And for me, life is timeless, and our age is just a figure to mark our physical journey. But our spiritual journey, there is no age and there is no time. And so I really too just honor that my age allows me to collect experience and wisdom that I wouldn't have gotten. Didn't have it at 5. I was brilliant at 5, but I didn't have this wisdom at 5. And I know in 10 years I'm going to have some more wisdom and some more, I hope I won't say grays, but some more experience to allow me to understand the beauty of this world. But my youthfulness and my approach to life, I hope that it's still, like you said, Peter Pan syndrome. Even though that sounds a bit like a disease, Liz, but I love it, love it, love it. Fantastic. Andrea says, yes, I do that naturally. Beautiful. Of working between spiritual and physical. I assume that was Andrea. Mary Alice says, beautiful Mary Alice, I collect comedy shows and stand-up routines to keep my humor supply fully stocked. Make a point of laughing out loud daily. Fantastic, Mary Alice. And if any of you have not watched the last 20 minutes of Finding Your Tribe, cry laughter. Who was there during that whole gratitude schmatitude section? That's just, watch the last 20 minutes of Finding Your Friends and you cannot not laugh. Oh my God, I was watching it the other day while I was looking at something. I'm like, oh my goodness, out of control. Rose, release the critic, invite the muse. Yes, Rose, yes, yes, yes. And as I start to age, as time goes by, I'm learning to allow this creativity and expression that was always repressed when I was younger because I just had to be in that box, and it's so beautiful. I love it. Gary, yeah, but Manal forgets that when we're caught in the loop, what do I forget when we're caught in the loop, Gary? What do I forget? We're caught in the loop. Accessing love and spirituality is about impossible. Gary, let me ask you something, okay? Gary, because you're one of the reasons that this conversation is happening. You are in the group conversation. What is possible when you're in the loop? Okay, and I want everybody to say, we're talking about in the loop when you're spinning around with your emotional and your physical. What is possible when you're in the loop? What we talked about in the group discussion in the group is that when you're in the loop, what we really want to do is self-soothe, self-love. Find ways of just loving on yourself. What can we do when you're in the loop? Everybody, let's give discussions of what we do when we're in the loop. Kendra, passion is so important and contagious. Oh my goodness, I love compassion too as a word. Although someone says that there's pain in that. I heard somebody say that. But for me, passion is this inspired love, this inspired action towards something that you love. It's the active definition of love. I like the word passion too. Valerie says she's more in her physical, okay? And how can you get into your spiritual? I'm going to ask you that, Valerie. Mary Alice, Gary, it just takes practice. We can reduce the time we're out of access. Exactly, Mary Alice. That's what I say too. It's the muscling. It's muscling. Mary, it's hard to say. I feel like it's hard to tell the difference between my spiritual me and my physical me. I probably need more practice. Mary, it's not bad perhaps that you don't know the difference between the physical you and the spiritual you if you're in alignment. So I'm not aware when I jump into my spiritual me. I just know that I'm shifting my lens to stop overindulging in my physical experience and giving myself compassion by recognizing that there's more in play than my physical knows. So when I'm in physical pain, and this is to you, Gary, okay? This is to you, Carrie, and this is to you, Valerie, and this is to all of you. But it's coming back to some of the discussion that we had in that group section, is that when we're in physical pain, and we're indulging in the physical, one of the self-soothing tactics that I use is recognizing that there's more to this than my physical understands. There's more to this pain, to this loop, to this experience than my physical understands. And that's the spiritual. That's the I am. That's the higher power. That's about the human journey. That's about the mystery of life and death. That's about the beauty of life and death. That's the beauty of life and the human experience. And so Mary says you're not always aware between the physical and the spiritual, which is fine if you're in alignment. But and I don't really realize when I'm switching between physical and spiritual, but it's one of the tactics that's always in my back pocket whenever those emotions feel so overwhelming. Or I call a friend. What game show are we allowed to just call a friend? Calling a friend is usually, this time it was my brother that he's like, breathe. I'm like, are you really telling me to breathe? I didn't need to hear him. He's like, breathe. Oh my goodness gosh. Sally, childlike delight and wonder. I love it. Childlike delight and wonder. I love that expression. Childlike delight and wonder. This was talking about our age. Kendra, Mary, have you tried Reiki? You may benefit. I love Reiki. I've actually done. I'm a certified Reiki master, and I just love playing with energy and that, again, that spiritual level that Neil was talking about, what we've been talking about, and recognizing that light and vibration and energy is part of this power and are part of our human journey. And for me, playing with that energy in that other dimension, again, when I'm in the loop, and just coming in and seeing if you can move the energy and shift the energy and understand the energy, and looking at our physical experience more as a vibrational is one of the tools that I use all the time. It's like, oh, let's get out of this from a physical expression and look at it as a vibrational expression. And it allows it to be more physical, more science-based rather than absolute reality-based, and allows me to understand that there's things that are going on that are beyond the linear understanding of life. And for me, it's a very powerful way to get out of my loop is energy, and Reiki is a beautiful tool for that. Kendra, I love that you said that. Andrea, yes, that question. Also, don't watch the news anymore. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Okay. Jen, I was just about to say that, Manal. That's my go-to too, is the spiritual, I think you're saying, Jen. Jackie says, watching what show? What show are we talking about? I think we are talking about the group talk that we're talking about. Or did I mention a show? Who knows what Jackie's asking, guys. Valerie, that was beautiful. I'm sort of delayed. Yes, magic is possible. Magic is possible when we're in the loop, I think what you're saying. Recognize we're in the loop. We're in the loop. Self-compassion is great when you're in the loop. Fantastic. Ray, I remind myself that that's temporary and it's just a bad day. Ray, that is one of my favorite ones too. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. And I actually reflect on times that I was so something, angry, so upset, so lost, and that I don't even feel that anymore. So one of the things I do when I'm in a really bad place, I go back to a time that I was in a worse place. And I'm like, oh, that's not even in my life anymore. So clearly I'm muscling enough to be able to get past it. And I remind myself that this too will pass, and that I just have to allow everything to happen and to go through, and to recognize that what's now will not be in the future. So just allow myself to let it go. Ray, that's a fantastic one. Fantastic one. Mary's saying she hasn't tried Reiki. She'll give it a try. I love it. Valerie, meditation helps me get to my spiritual, but I can't seem to connect when I'm really emotional. Just my emotional body. I try to do the steps, but lately it's been too overwhelming emotionally. Valerie, do you know why you're in the loop? What is the judgment that you're holding? That you're never going to get it right? Is that what it is, Valerie? What is it? Manal, are you picking on me? Gary, of course, always. It's so fun. Mary Alice is, okay, we were referring to finding our tribe show. the last 20 minutes of that show? Is that the question? Is Mary Alice answering for that question above? Thank you, Mary Alice, if that was a question. Yes, Jen is saying, finding your tribe, last 20 minutes. That's the show in my go-to. Oh my God, it's so funny. Jackie, where's finding our tribe? That's what it was. I'm fairly new to you. Jackie, it was on InsightTimer. It's on YouTube right now. So it's a recording from InsightTimer. And it's just so funny. We were looking for what future topics are, and we got into gratitude, and just the whole discussion about it was just so funny. Just somewhat funny. Gary, can someone tell me what kind of magic is accessible when deep in the loop? I can't. Okay, guys, let's all talk about this. Let's all talk about this. When we're deep in the loop, what is the best antidote? And if anybody wants to describe the symptoms of in the loop, let's go for it too. Gary, do you want to start off? Mary Alice, fantastic. Gary, take a nap. Take a nap. I love it. Mari, when I think of the past, it is a stronger pull than pulling towards my spiritual self. When I think of the past, it's a stronger pull than pulling towards my spiritual self. So Mari, you're talking about time and not leaning on your spiritual self, which is fine, but I would love for you to build your muscle of your spiritual self as well. And you could use the past as a building bridge or a jumping board off of to help you build up that spiritual self, if you'd like, if you'd celebrate, if that sounds good to you. And how do you use the past, and how are you not using your spiritual self? Those are the questions I have for you, Mari. Andrea, look up to the night sky. Oh, Andrea, that's fantastic. And Gary, I know you do this, but go out to nature. Look at the sky. Listen to the birds. Listen to silence. Look at the blue sky. Wonder at the beauty of the trees. Nature is my favorite way of just letting go. And after I had felt bad this last week, the biggest release was when I took a walk by myself, just went out into nature and just like deliberately let all of that energy go. Beautiful, Andrea. Look up to the night sky. Look up. Valerie, today I figured out that there's a lot of resistance to embrace my dark side, critical self, my fears, etc. Can't seem to surrender to it's part of me being human. Cannot accept myself, and it makes me question everything and starts the loop. Okay, Valerie, that's so easy. I love when I ask questions and I get such easy answers. I see a lot of hearts going on. So easy. The problem starts with even the essence of you calling it the dark side. There is no dark side. It's the human side. It's the developing side. It's the muscling side. It's the child side. But the inner child, not as in being less than or weak than, it's the one that's growing side. But if you start to make it as a light side, a dark side, a good side, a bad side, then you're just setting yourself up for failure, because anytime you go to that side of criticizing yourself or recognizing your fears, you've already defined it as dark, as bad, as Darth Vader. No matter how it is, Darth Vader, he's part of the dark side. We're not going to have any love and compassion for him like Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker, I can't believe I'm bringing in Star Wars. Luke Skywalker could make any mistake and we're going to still love him because he is on the light side. Darth Vader can do the same thing as Luke Skywalker, but he will be deemed as evil because he's on the dark side. So the fact that you're labeling it light and dark is the first thing. And that's enough. If you could start to recognizing it's all of the beauty of your human expression, it's the growth of you, of becoming and being, and start to watch yourself as you start to label it good, bad, 0, 1, right, left. That could be enough to kick it. How does that feel, Valerie? How does that feel, Valerie? Rose, coloring even 20 minutes can break the loop. Yes, Rose, particularly those little coloring books that have all those little numbers and really require you to focus. My kids were doing that for a while, that they have like, it's in there and there's like thousands of little numbers and you've got all these different little loops and you got to color in there. That's a fantastic one, Rose. And what actually is happening there is what Neil said earlier about focus. when you're coloring in this big thing with all this stuff, you're forcing yourself to focus on this physical activity rather than on what's going on in here and here in your emotional being. So it's a physical activity that forces you to be present with your pencil crayons, your paint, and a piece of paper. Fantastic, Rose. That's wonderful, wonderful. Oh, Mari, it's bad things from the past that take over my mind. And what is the judgment, Mari, that you have on yourself when these bad things come on over? What is your judgment that you have? Lane, at Valerie, from my experience, I find that shame is what keeps me stuck. Lane, that was a big one for me. Shame is one of my favorite expressions, self-destructive expressions. So I can resonate with that a lot. And it's the opposite of shame. I always had to look up, what's the opposite of shame? Who knows what the opposite of shame is? Jen, when in the loop, you feel overwhelmed. You feel confused by feelings and emotions, which are difficult to detangle because of the intense fear. Beautiful, Jen. I think you're in the loop. It's overwhelming emotionally and physically. You just talked about emotionally and physically. Gary says, why is anybody laughing? We do need to start laughing. Valerie, yes, I know that. Yes, I know. We all know it's not about knowing, it's about feeling. Yes, I know, but it feels like my bad side. And yes, Lane, there's also shame. Fantastic. So Valerie, how can it feel like your human side? What switch can you make that you know it's not your bad, it's not your bad side, but how can you feel it to be your human side? What switch do you need to make for you to recognize it's your human side? Let me ask you that. Mary Alice, Gary, take a shower or bath. That's a good one too. Distract with healthy diversions. Change your environment and music. Those are fantastic as well. Those are, again, other things that get you in the now. A shower, a bath, the beauty, the water is so healing. Music, just getting in. That's what I sound to. I put on like really intense meditative music that have all these different like binaural beats and just go at it, and or a different. That's fantastic. I think that's fantastic, Mary Alice. Liz, experiencing and embracing nature is so good for a person's body, mind, and soul, as well as their mental and emotional health. Yes. I feel like when I'm out here in the woods, just by virtue of doing a live stream and being outside, it already takes it and allows us to ground and to be and to feel amazing just by virtue of just seeing the trees and then the birds every now and then. And I love when we're saying something really inspirational and the birds are like chirping in the back, chirping in the background. Fantastic. Gary, breaking the loop is possible, but I asked what magic is findable deep in the loop. Gary, there's no difference between in the loop and deep in the loop. So I'm going to call you, like I did with Valerie, is that there's a judgment that you're much more deep in it that's keeping you from coming it in. In the loop is in the loop. In the loop is in the loop. So once you're in the loop and you just recognize, oh, I'm in the loop, which means overwhelming physical and emotional feelings, how do I do it? It's by focusing. And here are different tricks that we can do that allow us to focus differently. And actually, one of my favorites when I'm really in the loop is that napping one. I'll just say, you know what, Manal? The best thing you can do for yourself right now is take a nap. And I'll come out on my screen porch and just take a nap. Take a nap. And when I wake up, I'll feel refreshed. Or I'll go out into the woods and just walk in the woods and just let every step, I deliberately imagine it letting go of resistance. Every step, and I imagine, and I'll say, this is a healing. This is the intention of this walk is to let go of the resistance that I'm holding. And sometimes when there's not a lot of people around me, this is the truth, I'll actually talk to myself. And I'll say the third person thing again. I'll say, what's bothering me? And it's so funny because when I talk about it, there's a response to it. And I can talk it and I'll have a response to myself. Like I'll have conversation with myself. And I'll say, well, I'm terrible. And you're like, that's not true. This is you being human. So just like I'm talking to all of you, I'll talk to myself until I calibrate and let it all go and just come back feeling as part of nature. part of nature, which is coming back to what Neil said earlier, that I know that there's more than my physical me. And nature allows me to connect with that more than the physical me. Good, 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 good. Kendra, my roommate drops knowledge from wisdom he takes from watching Star Trek. Yes, Kendra, I was never into Star Trek. My brother is a big Trekkie. Star Wars more because of my son. We started watching it all. So when I was younger too, I did it. But I just am starting to really, we started to watch The Hobbit. So I'm starting to really enjoy some of these classics that really have so much wisdom from it. But my brother too, he'll say all of the all Star Trek stuff and like use it to like, the sacrifice. He was talking about one where the captain had to sacrifice someone and recognize you sacrifice one for the good of all. Anyway, I'm with you, Kendra. So with you. Valerie, why is there resistance to there is no dark side? I cannot see that I don't have a bad side. It's almost like human equals bad in my head. Valerie, this is the key that you can keep finding out, that why you're stuck in seeing, yes, the human journey is bad. And it's not just you. There's a lot of words about being suffering and struggle and that humans are bad, like, and humanity is bad. And that type of talk actually physically hurts me. I realize, ooh, that really bothers me when I hear things like that, because it's so different from what I really feel about life. But yes, there is, and sometimes is, this discussion and undertone as humans being bad and ill and evil. And what do you want to see humans as? What does everybody want to see humans as? How do you want to see a human as? How do you want to feel a human as? Gary is egging us on to make jokes. I think I'm ready to. Okay, let's see where we are at. Let me see. Let me see where we are. So Valerie, how did that feel? Gary calls himself Gary Vader. How come nobody is laughing? I'm laughing, Gary. It's fantastic. Gary Vader. Mari, should have guilt even though they're not really my doing. Should haves and guilt. Yes, Mari. And even though it's not my doing. And you know, I never like intellectualizing the answer. I don't like intellectualizing it, but I do like leaning on our intellectual mind to recognize when I'm having and holding on to untruths, and then seeing how I can calibrate and move that to feeling it. So even right now, Valerie says, I know we're not bad, but I feel it. So part of the releasing is through recognition. There's contradiction between my truth and my knowing and my feeling. And we can come back and see whether it's egoically, whether I kept learning that humans are bad. Humans are bad, humans are bad. So even though I know I'm not bad, I feel like I'm bad because I've heard my whole life that humans are bad. And then we need to really reaffirm in our egoic beliefs that we are all beautiful and that we're here in the human journey and that we are light and we're love and that we're supported. And then we turn around and rebuild. So that's what I call about reconstructing the key lime pie. So it is when there is resistance in these myths, truths, and beliefs, we do not want to intellectualize them, but we do want to understand where they're coming from so we can realign them. We can realign them. How does that feel? Okay, the jokes keep coming. Okay, let me read through these comments and then we'll get to the jokes. I think I see everybody's ready for jokes. Opposite of shame equal confidence. Yes, confidence of shame is alignment and allowing as well, Kendra. I think opposite of shame is being. Opposite of shame is, I think I've read pride as well, but I don't like it. Worthiness. Opposite of shame is worthiness. How does that feel? Worthiness, 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 worthiness. So are we worthy? Opposite of shame is worthiness. Gary, I think finding the deep stuff and fully recognizing without judgment is the magic. I hope. It's truth. This is truth, Jen. This is truth. Lynn, telling your brain that you got this. Let's take a break. Lynn, I like that one too. I've got this. We've got this. We've got this. Liz, I have a words of gratitude coloring book and an adult swear words coloring book. Both work well for me depending on the day. Oh my God, Liz, I love it. Oh my God, I cannot even imagine. Okay. Let's see. Can't sleep in the daylight, kind of like Dracula. Then your nap is called meditation for you. Again, I'm a recovering swearaholic. Oh my goodness, you guys are killing me. Okay, Jen. Actually, I really love doing the Hawaiian Ho'oponopono prayer meditation. It's so effective for me. Fantastic, Jen. And I know you took the course. I've got a Ho'oponopono course, and it's actually one of my favorite things too. And it's all about I thank you. I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you, in one of those orders. And it actually allows the resistance for anything to just release, that whole Ho'oponopono, and you're just saying it. Oh, just, okay, let's do it. Everybody just pull onto something that they're resisting right now. Valerie, I might suggest that you pull on that you are bad. There's a bad side to you. Gary, in your deep inner loop, everybody, the shame that you're holding on to, the past, Mari, the shame that we're holding on to, everybody hold on to that, the resistance. And then let's just see the resistance. Let's see the resistance with a lens of curiosity, openness, acceptance, self-love, recognition that it's here for your growth, recognition in the power of that resistance in that story, recognition that you're a human, and on this human journey, this is just what happens to facilitate something bigger. And sometimes that bigger could just be called growth and expansion. It could be understanding your worthiness, your freedom, your love, your liberty. Look at the resistance that you might have on the resistance on the resistance on resistance, and then some that you might hold on to the resistance of that story, and then you realize that there's shame, and then there's holding on to the past, and then there's guilt, and there's anger and frustration. So see how many layers of resistance you can see and taste? Now I want you just to say, I'm sorry. And that I'm sorry could be because you're not seeing it. I'm sorry could be because you're just sorry that it's there, feeling it. I'm sorry, not from ego, but from love. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I forgot to pack my son's NC State hat, even though I really thought I did, because I put it on the bag. But it's not in his bag. But I haven't looked. He looked, and my eyes are different than his book. But if I did and told him I packed it and he didn't go look for it, I am sorry. That type of sorry. Not that I'm bad sorry. Not that he's bad sorry. Not my ego sorry, but just I'm sorry. And then I want you to say, please forgive me. And the please forgive me is, again, without ego. It's just like, please forgive me. I'm sorry, please forgive me. And all of those layers of resistance, just please forgive me. And that's to you too, please forgive me. Just thank you, just a thank you, just recognizing the beauty in that exchange. Thank you. The liberation of saying, I'm sorry and please forgive me. Thank you. And then I love you. I love you to that energy. I love you to that experience. And that's what Ho'opono is. Ho'oponopono. 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 Now, who can feel the resistance shifting? Who can feel that resistance shifting? And that course walks through Ho'oponopono, walks through the please forgive me, the sorry, the I love you, and the thank you, and breaks it all down, and just really empowers you to let go of resistance from all the different sides, so you can come back to just a sense of like, it's okay. What we started with, how I articulated it today. Let's stop taking things so seriously. And by seriously, it doesn't mean that our human journey isn't serious and we're beautiful. It's just, we're just beautiful. Just allow. Just be. How does that feel? Jen says, every time, bliss and a smile on my face. Fantastic, Jen. Mari, I feel better joining here tonight. Fantastic. I'm so glad that you're here, Mari. Okay. Let's see where we're at. And I know the jokes need to keep coming up for us. Kendra, maybe your subconscious mind knows what you need. You need the light, Gary. Ooh, very interesting, Kendra. Do you need the light? Jen, you better have good cat jokes. I have jokes. Okay. Valerie, I already said I don't know how I feel about it. Do you know how you feel about it now? Kendra, I got a mathematician joke. How do mathematicians scold their children? How do mathematicians scold their children? I've told you N times. I've told you N plus 1 times. Oh my God, Kendra, that's perfect for me because I always speak in X and Y. You all know that I always speak in variables. Manal, Gary, Manal, I was joking about my inner dark side. I knew you would get my stupid humor. Yes, I always get your fun humor, Gary. Kendra, so true. Worthiness breeds confidence. Fantastic. Yeah, the opposite of shame is worthiness. Jen, Spock in Star Trek says, oh my God, the needs of the many outweigh the needs for the few. Jen, you know exactly what I was talking about. Fantastic. Okay, Gary, do I have a joke or what are you talking about? Mari, thanks, Manal. I'll give myself a hard time and I'm empath and highly sensitive. Mari, I see that Kendra's talking to you about a teacher that was focused on helping empaths. My biggest inspiration regarding empaths and highly sensitive, I don't know if you heard me speak about it before, is I am tired, and I use the word tired, and I don't like using tired because it's one of the energies that I'm trying to overcome. Well, I've overcome it, but it comes back every now and then. But being an empath and being highly sensitive is a superpower. It's a superpower. It becomes our weakness when we have not muscled to learn how to really use it from a place of strength. And when I started to learn about what an empath is, because I am an empath, it came from a lens of us being weak, not from strength. But being an empath and being highly sensitive, I believe, is a strength, a big strength. And some of the greatest empaths are some of the greatest spiritual teachers. So the way that I speak of being an empath and highly sensitive is our ability to use it as our superpower. I'm taking off my shirt and you see my big S under here for super empath. Is using it as a strength. So Kendra, tell me how that feels. Or Mari, tell me how that feels. Amy, how do you know if you're an empath? Amy, the finger in the wind, how do you know if you're empaths? If you feel energy, if you go out there and you can feel how somebody else is feeling. Somebody's anger ends up making you feel uncomfortable in a very extreme way. It really is about being highly sensitive to your different senses. It could be any of your senses, your 5 senses, visually or orally or even with a taste or physically, but really being very hyper aware in any of your senses that makes you need to really, that the information comes in an overwhelming way. And so what we need to do is build up ourselves to make it a superpower, that we use it as a strength. We know how to modulate it, that we can determine the difference between somebody else's energy and our energy. That we can, again, using Reiki as one of the greatest teachers, is how do I maintain a protective boundary around myself, that my energy is mine, and if I want to take in somebody else's energy, it's by my choice. And that when I do feel energy, that I don't have to act or react to it because I'm aligned with the strength of my energy, so I don't need to react to other people's. So that's the answer to that, Amy, and I don't know if that gave you enough, gave you enough. Gary, I've not figured out how to use it, period. Okay, we're going to do another session. I think we've done one a while ago on being an empath. I'm going to write that down. Clara, your energy is contagious. It's well appreciated. And when I'm dealing with divorce process, thank you. Fantastic, Clara. And divorce is a great teacher. and whoever you're divorcing is part of your greatest teacher. And every time, again, talking about that spiritual being, every time I feel resistance to something, I remind myself, oh, they're my teacher. It's one another of my spiritual beliefs that help me when I'm struggling in the physical. Oh, that's my greatest teacher. There's something here I'm meant to learn. Great deal of resistance means there's something within myself internally that needs to be calibrated, and I'm going to calibrate to it. So let's see how we can use life to teach us and to allow us to be stronger and greater. Kendra, did you hear about the mathematician who's afraid of negative numbers? Oh my God, I can't wait for this one. Where's the answer? He will stop at nothing to avoid them. He'll stop at nothing to avoid them. Oh my God, Kendra, love it. Rose, look to nature to lighten up. I've been raising butterflies, since pandemic. I love it. Just recognizing the crap they go through makes my life magical. Oh my God, I love it. Yes, I really love looking at butterflies and looking at their journey and seeing how they go from a caterpillar to a butterfly, and recognizing that, like you said, the crap that they go through to make their life magical, and recognizing that humans, Valerie, this is to you, and Gary too, this is no different. This is no different. Kendra, yes, I've heard it as a superpower. I am here to tell us all being an empath is a superpower. If you want to use it as a weakness, go ahead, but I'm going to tell you it's a superpower. And it allows you to connect spiritually, it allows you to connect with other humans, it allows you to connect with yourself in such a powerful way. And what we can do together is to develop that muscle of superpower so we become very, very aligned and strong. How does that feel? How does that feel? Who wants to join me in letting our empathic nature be a superpower? Kendra, all of these math jokes I feel represents all our negative mind speak we do to ourselves. Love it, Kendra. Amy says, thank you, Mari. Yes, I need to be stronger. I can't control or carry loads that are not mine. Yes, Mari. And I'll say part of it is surrender and trust. Rose, you missed my cat joke? Yes, Rose, let me go back. Kendra, because all the negative numbers are left of 0. Okay, let me see. Where is Rose's cat joke? Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Okay, there it is. There it is. I might have been missed Liz's comment too. I hope you have fun with your puns. Okay, what has more lives than a cat? A frog. They croak every day. Oh my goodness. Okay, Andrew's in about that. Okay, let me ask before we go into the jokes. How is everybody feeling? How is everybody feeling? How's everybody feeling? I'm feeling a bit annoyed because somebody's doing the lawn over there. And I said I wasn't going to do outdoors anymore, but I just love the outdoors. And I'm so conflicted. I'm so conflicted. And last time I said I won't do it, everybody's like, no, we like it. We like it. So, okay, Valerie, it's funny how I wrote a poem called Chrysalis, hinting to transformation and where I am in a certain healing process. I love butterflies. Valerie, fantastic, Valerie. Okay, Rose feels fabulous. Andrea feeling excited. Valerie, I feel just okay. Valerie, last time we talked a lot, and we realized that your spiritual muscle was where you weren't able. I remember we went through a series of things and everybody felt better and lifted, and you and a few others didn't. We realized it was the spiritual muscle, your egoic muscle. How have you been muscling your spiritual connection? That's your question, Valerie. Jen says, I'm feeling ready to laugh. Rose, had nature walk while listening. First visit here, very good. Also 2 butterflies open today, 1 monarch, 1 polydamas. Oh my God, Rose, beautiful. Where do you grow butterflies? I would love to see it. Jen, what's the difference between a cat and a comma? A cat has claws at the end of his paws. A comma is a pause at the end of a Oh my God, hold on. A cat has claws at the end of its paws. Oh my gosh. It's my landscaper. He usually comes on Wednesday. He doesn't come on Tuesdays. What the heck? He's right here. Oh my goodness. I see laughter. Kendra's, why did Beethoven get rid of his chickens? All they said was, bok, 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 bok. What do you call a large dog that meditates, says Christine? a werewolf. A werewolf. Love it, Christine. I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, says Jen. Did you hear about the two people who stole a calendar? They each got 6 months. Why did the Scarecrow win the Nobel Prize? Because he was outstanding in his field. Oh my goodness. So the jokes go on and on and on. We moved this live stream inside because of the lawn, because of Angel doing the lawn. So I just want to thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed today's inspiration and really enjoyed the exploration of letting go of the resistance that we carry towards our judgment of our life journey, and celebrating and finding love and beauty and celebration in the human journey. And you're amazing, and every aspect of life is amazing. So I just really celebrate you. Thank you so much for being here. Let's continue to grow, to expand, to love, to find truth together, to align to truth together. Thank you for being here. Love you so much. My love, always.